So, new daily cases of COVID topping 100,000 in this country, but tens of millions of eligible adults in the U.S. have still not gotten their shots. Even though the vaccines are safe, they're free, and they've been available for months. So why not? Let's talk to pollster Frank Luntz. He is here with me now, and he spoke to 21 unvaccinated people from 14 states all across the country with the help of the 𝗔𝘂𝗴𝘂𝘀𝘁 Foundation to ask why they are still saying no to the vaccine. Just a reminder, we saw someone in the top block of the show, didn't get the vaccine, very sick in the hospital now regretting it and telling people to get their vaccine. Frank, good evening. Hello to you. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. It's the most important thing I've done this year, and maybe it's the most important thing I've done in my entire career.
Why do you say that?
Because as a pollster, you get a chance to measure public opinion, but rarely do you get a chance to make a difference, to actually try to help people. And I got to admit, Don, it's been very difficult for me because my job is to keep my cool, to listen, to ask questions, and then supply the information and the advice to people like you. But I'm getting so frustrated now because I know personally the consequences of making bad decisions, and I don't want people to do that. And there's so much blame to go around that we need to avoid the partisanship, the politics of COVID, at least for now. There's plenty of time to hold people accountable. And perhaps most importantly, if we don't get people vaccinated in the next 3 or 4 weeks, we've got all these kids coming back to school. We got schools opening up again. And the danger of Delta and the other variants, combine that with the schools opening up. And this is a serious, if not crisis situation. And I want the public to know this, to embrace it, and not look at it as someone else's problem, but to accept it as their own problem, their own challenge, and do something about it.
So tell me then, why are these people still unvaccinated, Frank? What are they telling you?
Number one, they've gone from not now to no. I want to be clear about that. Initially, it was, well, I'll make the decision in good time. I'll do it on my own time, not on the government's time. But too many people are telling me that they are possibly going to get the vaccine. And then when I approach them directly in these focus groups, they actually say, well, no, the truth is I'm not going to get it. Second is that you've got to keep the politics out of this. And I know that the temptation, particularly in the people who do the job that you do, is to beat on those who aren't vaccinated, to hold them accountable, responsible for what's happening in the spread of the virus. The problem is if you demonize them, if you insult them, they will surely not listen to you and they will not be educated by you. And that's my second fear. And the third thing is that they feel pressured rather than educated. And so we have to use language and statistics and facts that will bring them in rather than pushing them away.
Yeah, listen, it's so interesting that you say that, because I hear people saying, listen, I'm so tired of trying to convince people who don't want to be convinced, and why is it my fault that they're not getting vaccinated? It's their fault, and how much more? If they want to get sick, let them get sick, and whatever comes with that. I'm just being honest. That's what I'm hearing. There's a frustration from people who are educated and informed about these issues and who are vaccinated. So then what will motivate them to get the vaccine? What moved the needle for some of these people?
Two things. Number one is to know that 95% of doctors are now vaccinated. So the people who know the most have done this. What do 95% of doctors know that the unvaccinated don't? That's a really powerful statistic. And second is the fact that now when you get COVID, it can actually be and is more dangerous to you. You have a long-term consequence that lasts far greater than whatever the vaccine could do, whatever side effects you could have. And in the end, we need doctors directly involved in this. We need doctors answering the misinformation that your show has done a very good job of pointing out. We need doctors to open up their offices to give people vaccines because that's where they feel the most comfortable. And we need doctors to embrace the next generation. We need them to be talking to the kids. In fact, I'm going to ask through your show for doctors to put together a video, not for the parents, but for the children of the parents, to tell the parents, get your kids vaccinated before they go back to class. Then you'll feel safe. Then you'll feel secure. Your child If those children are not vaccinated, then your child is in jeopardy. Then your child is threatened. We all need, you know what I don't understand is we used to work together as a country. In times of great trial and tribulation, we would pull together. In 2021, we seem to be pulling apart, and that's not the America that I grew up in. It's not the America that I know.
Yeah, it's not. But listen, over the past few years, there have been people who have been promoting and really relishing in the misinformation, and people and organizations. I want to hear from some of the people you spoke to, Frank. I got to get a break in because I think it's important. You don't want to miss this. Frank spoke with some people, and they talked to us about getting vaccinated, if they're going to do it, if they're not going to do it, why they aren't, and so on. Right after this break. Don't go anywhere. So I'm back now with pollster Frank Luntz. So Frank, let's listen to what one teacher said about getting the vaccine. Just to say it again, this is a teacher.
To me, personally, there's nothing you can say or do to get me to get vaccinated. There's nothing that can be done. So I think that everybody needs to be responsible for themselves and for their children. And do not send your kid with a cold to school. We've done that for many, many years. I think it's time to just be cleaner, to stop that and be responsible for yourself. And that's what I truly believe.
Well, I mean, look, you wouldn't know, but how is that woman a teacher? But look, did others share her feelings? And how much trouble are we really in right now with that? These are kids who are going to be in confined spaces, on school buses, some of them unable to get vaccinated because they're go on, Frank, sorry.
Yes, but Don, this is part of our job, is to keep cool when things around us are going to hell. And it is our responsibility. It's why I'm up this morning at my time, 4:30 a.m. The challenge now is not the parents. The challenge right now are the kids, that we have in some cases only 2 weeks left before kids go back to school, and everyone's going to be going back within a month of today. Our challenge is to get as many parents to give their kids the gift of life, to give the gift of safety, of security. Parents are trying to think, what can they do for their kids? Can they buy them a new outfit? Can they get them a car? Can they do something special for them? The most important thing a parent can do for a child is get them vaccinated.
But Frank, that's if they're of age. I mean, it's almost too late for them to get the shot and be fully vaccinated by the time that they have to go back to school. And I mean, I'm just wondering, like, because I think you said you spoke with some of these people afterwards, but do they understand? And there's no other way to put it. Do they understand their own ignorance when it comes to this? And why is that woman a teacher? I wouldn't want anybody like that teaching my kids. That's my responsibility. And if my child's teacher isn't vaccinated, I don't want them to have to go into a classroom with her. It should not be that I have to hold my kid out of school because the teacher doesn't want to get vaccinated. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I absolutely do. Don, you know what? We're in an impossible situation where people don't want to listen to each other. They don't want to learn from each other. We used to be a community that respected the wishes of others, that we would compromise on our own to make life better for others. That's the way we used to be. Right now, the goal, the mission, is to get as many needles into as many, I can't believe I'm saying this, but to get as many needles into as many arms as possible. And if we get the first vaccine right now, if we can even influence 1,000 of your viewers, 10,000 of your viewers, which is a tiny fraction, to get them to get vaccinated, to get them to get the first shot, that in itself saves lives.
Yeah. So
I'm looking at this incrementally. And one last thing, that we need to get President Biden and President Trump in the same damn room. And I would use tougher language, but I want you to get an FCC fine.
But why is that? Why would you get he's not the president anymore. Why would Joe Biden call Donald Trump or get Donald Trump, the person who has been the #1 spreader of misinformation, in the same room? Frank, that doesn't make sense. Why?
Does.
Help me understand why it makes sense. Sorry, that's the wrong framing.
It makes sense. It's cool. It makes sense because we're trying to get every spokesperson, every political person, every press person, every community and spiritual person engaged in this effort because we know that it saves lives. And so we try to be nonpartisan, not bipartisan, nonpartisan, non-political, non-judgmental. There is plenty of time for your anger and for my outrage. We can all do that on New Year's Eve. I want to make sure we get to New Year's Eve, and whatever it takes, even if I have to be extra patient, extra kind, extra decent to people I disagree with, I'm going to do it. And you need to as well. Every news network needs to do so as well, because there are people watching you right now that are making the decision. I want them to make the right choice. And by the way, it's not just Republicans. You have African-American Democrats, you've got some Latinos, you've got people who live in rural areas of the country. We need to reach out to everyone who isn't vaccinated and to everyone to get their kids vaccinated, and do it right now, so at least they have the first shot in their arms before they go to school.
But when do you get to a point too, what my grandmother used to say, a hard head makes a soft behind, right? So at some point, there is no convincing, and it seems to me that we're at that point. I know you keep saying that Joe Biden needs to reach out to the former president. The former president is still out there spreading misinformation. That is a pipe dream, Frank. That is never, ever, 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 ever going to happen. These two men will never get into a room. Look, it's a good thing for you to, I'm sure, to want it to happen. And then on the other front, you know, when you say in 2021, we've gotten to this place where people, you know, that we don't, well, that's been building for a long time. And that's been happening, quite frankly, with the Republican Party, who became the Trump Party and who became the party of misinformation and the big lie and politicizing the pandemic and then politicizing the vaccine. So, you know, it's hard to, quite honestly, I understand what some of those people are coming from, and I understand that you say, well, we need to have some compassion. It's hard to be compassionate sometimes for people who don't want to listen, who want to remain ignorant. Do you understand what I'm saying?
And not only do I understand that, I empathize with it, but I say to you that if you are genuine in your heart and in your head, and now I'm going to sound somewhat spiritual, I'm going to channel Tim Scott, but if you're genuine in your commitment to save lives, then you accept people's foibles, you accept their weaknesses, you accept, and you don't get angry about it. And I'm trying to teach myself that as I try to do my craft, as I try to do my trade. And I say to people, again, I want to deliver a message right through the camera. To doctors, the best way for you to communicate is through a Q&A. To ask the questions that your patients are asking in the words that they're using, and then deliver them the answers. That Q&A on video is the most likely way to make a difference. Don, I get it. I empathize with you. But until the end of this year, I'm not giving in, and I'm not giving up, and I'm not going to be partisan, and I'm not going to be political, and I'm going to do my best to try to give your viewers and any viewers I can get in front of the best possible information so they can convince their friends, their family, maybe even themselves, to get vaccinated.
Well, as you know, Frank, the truth is not partisan, right? And everything that I said here tonight is truthful about the people who are hesitant to getting it. And look, I hope what you're saying is right, and you should continue to fight for it. When I see people now, I hear people saying doctors are paid actors. They're being paid by the left. That's politicizing it. Or that the folks that I had on earlier, the Campbells, they're paid actors. Don Lemon has paid actors on the television right now. There's nothing paid about actors. These are people who live, and they said, we are country folk. We don't have a lot of interaction with people. We made a mistake. We should have gotten the vaccine because everyone in our family has gotten it. This could be my last breath. And you know what the anti-vaxxers say, or the Trumpers? These are actors. Why? No one should be watching this. Why do you have people on who've been affected poorly by the vaccine? At some point, Frank Luntz, people cannot be converted. They cannot be spoken to, and they will not get it through their thick skulls that what they're doing is not only harmful to them, but it's harmful for their fellow men. And if they can't get it through their heads, at some point you got to say, I'm done. And you have to move on and take care of the people who are actually doing the right thing and focus on the people who are doing the right thing and how you keep them safe and not the people who don't want to be kept safe.
But there's a way to handle this, which is, in the end, if you want to get on a plane, you have to be vaccinated. Yep. If you want to go to a concert or sporting event, you have to be vaccinated. Yep. If you want to eat in a restaurant, if you want to stay in a hotel, we are going to reach that point, and there's some businesses who are doing it right now. So make the right decision on your own, and there are no mandates.
Yeah.
At some point, we may have to do that. So again, Don, I hear you. But for now, you and I need to do the best that we can, at least through the end of this year.
I got
and
you.
then, as your grandmother would say, at that point, that's when I say, okay, you got to start
All right.
swatting.
All right, Frank. Thank you. I appreciate you coming. I hope you come back. I love the information. Thank you so much, Frank Luntz. Okay, a lot more news. We'll be right back.